Hi, Midgards Well here, back here with another podcast. This time, interviewing, well, ourselves. We will have our third-party Batman off to the side. She will be asking us questions, and we will be answering them. This will mostly be taking us through the intro to our...
Us.
Yeah.
Really.
It's just an interviewing of us. If you've watched the interview of Mike, now you get to watch the interview of Roman, Chris, and Allie.
Yep.
3 of the 4 founding members.
And the 3 most active, really.
Excuse you.
That's fine. Don't worry, Batman. Don't worry.
The 3 people who really built this kindred and brought everyone in.
That is a much
That's
better way
fair.
of saying it.
That's fair.
I am not good with words.
He's got foot and mouth syndrome. Super good at it.
Yeah. I'm as blunt as a wall hanger sword.
Just as a quick warning, it is the 3 of us. We tend to do tangents, and we tend to have giggle fits like no one's business. We have issues. So, if you are not into that kind of interview, this
Skip
may
this
not
video.
be the one that you want to watch.
Or just skip till you see our faces straight, and that's where there'll be an actual answer, and then you just look for the just skip through that part. Anyway, so question the first, as I just...
Question the first.
Our amazing Batwoman will be asking us the questions off screen, because I'm too lazy to fix the framing. I'm not even gonna lie.
That's one reason.
It is one reason, but I like it to be the only reason. So
That's
there's
the only
no
reason.
pressure.
That's the
There's
only
no
reason.
pressure.
Totally the only reason.
It's Allie's fault.
It's all my fault.
Question the first.
Alright. First question. How did you come into heathenry?
Oh, dang it! You're making me answer first. Okay.
Ours is kind of shared.
Ladies first.
That's fair. So my grandfather had died, and it was a long, drawn out process. He spent a week in basically a vegetative state and could kind of react, but not at all. It was super. It was awful. It was just awful. And after he died, it was just one of those moments of what kind of Christian God would actually allow this to happen. And it took me down this road of, well, the Christian God, what kind of God would let kids die too, and just this whole thing. And then, I know this is one of the questions, so I'm not going to fully answer this because I know it's one of the others. But some stuff happened and it led me down this road. And I was like, oh wait, I can still talk to my grandfather and deal with his death in this way better. Heck yeah! So that's pretty much the short
So a
version.
little bit of sorrow led to you finding a better path that led...
Oh, yeah. One that definitely resonated with me and was actually... I've got this whole dibs theory that I'm not going to go into, but it definitely caused the dib theory. That'll be a different video.
Dibs like the ice cream? Or
Nope.
like dips like dipstick?
Dibs.
Dibs, like
like
all dibs.
mine.
Got it. So dibs like the ice cream. I was like B or P. That's what I was asking.
Okay.
We're good.
Okay.
B as in Batman.
And then, well, for me and Roman, with me, I had kind of had that same sorrow in my life. Raised Southern Baptist, had a not great childhood. It happens to a lot of us, sadly.
Mm-hmm.
And moved to Gardner, Kansas. Was there for a few years, and then he joined me in Gardner, Kansas. There's not much to do in Gardner, Kansas.
It doesn't sound like how he just worded it. It was 2 separate events. I didn't join Chris. We were both in Gardner, Kansas.
Oh, okay, true.
So
I know what I said wrong.
That being said, all right. So me personally wasn't working through stuff like they were. I was trying to study more, basically all world religions. I didn't like the fact that whenever you hear the word theologian, it specifically meant someone that studies the Christian religion, or at least that's typically how it is where we're at. And so I was studying lots of different religions, and I found myself really heavy into various forms of shamanism. Got real deep into various forms of Buddhism, specifically Zen and Tantra, and spent a lot of time out in the woods and really getting into animism and things like that. Chris was my best friend in high school, still is my best friend. And we spent a lot of time, we went through I went through lots and lots of books and taught him what I read.
Yep. It kind of reverses a little bit.
Yeah, so what it does. So what happened there was there's various Druid and Wiccan books that really spoke to me there.
Yeah, we read them all. I mean, because that was the biggest thing. When you think of polytheism, it's Hinduism and nothing else in modern world.
Yeah. And so one of my favorite books that we took around was one that taught you how to speak to trees, right? Basically go into a meditative state and you just kind of speak to the tree. And we would go out into forests and we'd have experiences with that. We had a couple experiences with ladies of the lake, a couple different lakes and rivers and other bodies of water there.
Elves,
fairies, all kinds of various what we think of like mythological creatures. The more we wanted to talk to them, the more they talk back. Which is why in another video where we talk about careful who you're talking to because you don't know what you're inviting in.
when you knock on certain doors, there will always be an answer, and you don't know sometimes whose door you are knocking on.
Yeah, and so it was just an evolution from an agnosticism to an I don't know what to believe in to, man, this is really cool to just believe in the forest and the nature and the earth and the power and the energy that's all around us. And then that evolved into where we're at now.
Yep. So question the second.
Second of questions. How open are you in your paganism?
Extremely! I will tell you pretty much my entire life story in about 3 minutes of meeting me. If you let me go on more, I will.
He's not kidding.
I'm not. I make friends with bar stools. I make friends with walls. I make friends. I really enjoy talking about this, not only to help other people get into it, but to help the world understand that there are people like us out there. Some of us are extremely loud and proud. That's just who I am. Yeah, I have, they call it the dog collar. I have charms all over my lovely chainmail made necklace. And I wear them as much as I can. I am eventually getting tattoos. I have a lot of tattoos already, but I have a lot of ideas for Norse tattoos. I got some behind my ears. I got bind runes. I love putting my soul on my sleeve. It's how I've always been, and it doesn't change in religion.
How open am I? Well, community-wide, I'm actually fairly well known, I guess, because I'm very involved in our community. I'm very loud and proud in our community. But so help me, anybody tell my grandmother or any of my family, I will hurt you because they don't know. Well, actually, my mom is okay with it. My dad has come to terms with it. My biological father doesn't know. But it's basically 75% or more of my family doesn't know. And most of them are very devout Christians. And
of course,
it's not going to go well. It's not going to go well.
Because if you don't worship Jesus, then you're just on the other team regardless.
So basically, I wear my Mjolnir everywhere with my also chainmail necklace. Chris's wife makes beautiful things.
Plug.
Shameless plug.
What is the name of her?
It is
Draphine Mail.
Draphine Mail. D-R-A-P-H-E-N.
Dragon Phoenix.
Yep.
Basically, yeah. And if I'm around my family, I just tuck it. Otherwise, they think I'm just obsessed with Norse mythology. And I've been doing the runes since I was 14. So when I do get my rune tattoos, they will basically accept it as one of my other I can't say the word.
Eccentricities.
Thank you.
Yay.
Me, I'm kind of 1 foot in, 1 foot out of the closet sort of a thing. Where it's like it kind of depends on the circles that I'm in or who I'm around that I talk about. I was always raised that there are things you don't talk about, politics and religion, so I'm not very loud and open about it when especially when talking to strangers. It's kind of some of the stanzas in the Have 'Em All that speak loudest to me are when you go into a room, stay quiet, listen and learn. That's how I've always been. I'm like, you know what? Have 'Em All tells me to do it. I'm gonna keep doing that.
And it's always worked out for us.
Yeah, it's worked out. Yeah, Chris will barge in. He'll get all the aggro, and I've got his back. Basically, how that works. And so it really depends on the circles. I mean, of course, obviously, here we are on YouTube in a public forum, but it's not like I go out to everyone I meet and say, "Hey, how's it going? I'm Roman. I'm pagan." Right? Like, that's just not how that's how Chris does things.
and I'm with Roman on this. Like, if my hammer's hanging out, then if they ask, then I tell them. But otherwise, I don't typically say anything.
Yeah.
Unless I'm with the community, in which case it's, so what kind of pagan are you? And I'm like, heathen.
Yep.
Who plays McGonagall in Harry Potter?
Maggie Smith.
Maggie Smith has the best quote on this. It's okay if you have a penis. It doesn't mean you need to go around showing everybody.
Yes.
That's her view on religion, right? It's cool if you've got one. You don't need to go around shouting.
Yes.
That's how I feel. It's like, you want to be Christian, that's awesome. You want to be Buddhist, that's awesome. You want to be Brositru, that's awesome. I do my thing, you do your thing. You want to chat, we can do that. as long as it stays in a amenable manner.
Alrighty.
Good answer.
Thrice.
Thrice question. What do you want to reset? What do you want to bring to the community?
A lot.
We are, me and him especially, we are the people who are like, alright, we gotta stay our head on the cutter, and then we're just off, and we have all these dreams and things we want to build and things we want to do.
And I'm sitting over here writing it down going, wait. Okay, hold on. I just had an amazing idea. Shut your face.
That's about it, yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
So, the things are, my biggest thing that I want to bring to the community is world connection. I want this religion to go back to being more oral, and everyone going around campfires and telling stories and big excursions. 50 people go out into the woods and they just have this amazing time and just find the gods and themselves. People building small Viking villages on the sides of lake-sized property that they've purchased and just putting themselves back into that world. I am very big in the idea of making this back to what it used to be. Now, I know it will never reach... Like, there's no reason for us to divide and conquer and split skulls and shatter things, but I've always told people one of my biggest dreams in the entire world is to have the next great heathen army march on the Vatican. Not in violence, as protest. I want our holidays back. I want our days of remembrance put back on. I want the old ways to not be old anymore.
And that's how we try to actually do things. Is with we've actually got our own calendar kindred wide, and we have remembrance days. We make up new holidays because we feel like there's some missing.
There might not be a Blótfirskafl written in the Havamals or in the sagas. We made one.
Yeah, we try, as a kindred, we do a lot more with the lesser gods than the major gods. And so that's kind of we not make up holidays, but we're like, this fits here.
Yep.
Exactly. So they are well thought out.
Yeah.
It's just not, it's not a, well, it's been a while since we've done anything for so-and-so.
Right.
Maybe we should, like, make this a yearly thing for this date.
And
Rather, January seems like a good idea to have a bloat to Skavi every year.
And there's always a reason to get together. Even if it's just, a full moon tonight, let's do a bloat to Mani.
Oh, yeah.
And then it goes really well and something stirs and you're like, you know what? Let's do it every year on this night to Mani.
Works. Me personally, for the community, what I'd like to do is I would like to have a temple. You know, I think it'd be really cool if there was actually an American in the Heartland temple that people can come to and really educate themselves on. Right? Not one that really is like the end-all, be-all, this is how you have to do it.
Right.
It's just how we do it and how we choose to educate people. Like I said, I came into this looking at all religions, wanting to really be educated on things, and I really want to educate people, anyone who's curious.
I want to bring into the community basically confidence and understanding. And this is applied to literally one facet of the things we experience, but it's a lot of things a lot of people experience within this religion can be written off as mental illness or hallucinations, etc., etc., etc. I want to be able to bring a more tolerant view to this, as well as help therapists who may be more Christian have some kind of resource to be able to look at and be like, okay, well, this is the societal norm for this section of society. So
it's not crazy.
They're not crazy.
It's not crazy if you say you're talking to God every night before you go to bed. You're apparently crazy if you talk to any other deity every single night before you go to bed, and they talk back.
So I want to bring a better understanding of our culture. I want to be able to empower those of us in this culture to be able to go, no, I really did just see some little white shiny animal run across the road. I slammed on my brakes one night because a bunch of Vader ran in front of my car and they looked like possum, and I was like, what the hell is happening? It was a weird night.
Magic exists.
It does. So I want to bring understanding and confidence.
Question the fourth.
Speaking of community, how easy was it to get into the community?
Extremely difficult because we didn't know it even existed.
Till they met me, and I was like, hey, y'all heard of these people?
And we were like, no.
And I was like, here's their contact information.
We were like, okay, so?
Yeah.
I hadn't even met them, and these guys went and met them instead. And I'm sitting here like, I still don't want to meet them.
Yeah.
For me, it was really difficult because I had nobody, unlike these two, who had each other.
Yep.
And
Zach. He'll eventually be in another video, don't worry.
Yeah, he's in the intro video if you ever need reference. Zach. He's the cool, baldish one.
No, he is bald. This is bald.
Yeah.
Well, I couldn't remember if he was bald or not, and I didn't want to commit to
There
it.
you go. All right, that's fair.
Anyways, especially with being a female, a lot of people are just like, you just play acting. And I'm over here like, no, wait, talk to me. I have questions. And we live in the heartland, and there's basically one, and back when we were doing all this, there was one kindred. And when I contacted them for information, I was left on red. And so I just started randomly messaging different places, especially if I saw they were Kansas City based. I was like, hey, can you tell me more about what it would take to be a part of your kindred? Because I've been doing this for a year, and I wasn't very steady with my studies, and I knew finding people would help me with that. Another kindred answered, but it was more of a, come meet us in person, and I didn't get good vibes off of them over the phone, and I really wish I'd listened to that. And then I messaged these guys, and not only did they answer that day, but you both friended me on Facebook and talked to me off of the Midgards Well Facebook page. And we kind of just grew from there. And so, like, it really helped because I have anxiety. It really helped with that. And then from there, we just kind of started going to things together.
Yep.
And that's how I ended up. But again, because I am female, no one wanted to talk to me until it got to a point where it was like, oh, wait, she actually knows what she's saying. And this isn't just some, like, floozy camp follower type chick. We should probably listen to us because that hammer's looking mighty heavy in her hands. And she might back up Colton. That was loud.
So then, I know with me and him, we did kind of like create Midgards Well with Zach's help. So to us, we were much more in the sense of these things are, it's hard to get this community. We didn't know the community really existed. So we just do what me and him do best. Create things. We made the community. So far as we thought, at least.
Yeah, basically what it came down to was like, hey man, this is really cool. There's some real power here. Let's just start a group, and if we find other people that are like-minded, they can come join us. Yep. And then she was like, hey guys, you know there's a community? We were like, what?
Yeah, there's like 9 kindreds.
Yes. And surprisingly, which just always shocks the hell out of us, we are one of the oldest and are most definitely now the largest.
We are about 14 members strong now.
Not counting like TAC and the AFA.
We're talking just Kansas City based kindreds.
Yes. Yep. So, is anything else? Okay.
No,
on to 5?
Yeah, the 5th.
All right, 5th. Everybody remember.
remember.
Okay. What is your favorite aspect of the religion?
Self-power. It is very easy to let the outside world influence the way that you want to think and the way that you want to act. But with these gods and with the ways they teach and the strength that they give you, you realize you've actually had that strength your whole life. You just weren't able to see it yet. Because there's a lot of things in this world that create self-doubt. Back in our ancestors' age, that wasn't a thing. If you doubted yourself too much, you died. Because you didn't do anything right. It's just how things worked. So now we have a world that has coddled a lot of people into weakness. They've made sheep. And I think this religion, screw the metaphor, it turned me into a wolf. It made me hunt for myself and find the things that I needed and take them.
Self-accountability.
Yes. Oh, I'm done. I know it's surprising, but...
Do you have an answer ready?
Yeah.
Then go.
Okay. What's your favorite part? Oh no. So my favorite part is that is the same thing that brought me in. Was that they're still alive and they're very talkative. You know?
Oh,
I don't know if it's because they don't get talked to very much, the gods. I don't know if it's because they don't get talked to very much that they respond so readily and powerfully. But I like that, you know, if you ask, you'll at least get an answer. It's probably going to be a no, but you'll have an answer. You know, one of the things that I was told when coming into this, when we first fell into the community, was talking about don't treat these. We don't supplicate. We're not on our knees. You know, we talk to our gods with open arms, like we're going in for a hug.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the gods, the ancestors. This is our part of the religion. It's very animistic, right? And what we get from them is treat them like family or old friends or something. Don't always ask of them. Talk to them, give them gifts, whatever it may be. But we don't supplicate, and I really like that aspect of that. And they talk back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what I like about it is it makes my life make sense. Which is a very vague answer, but
But not to you. Not
No.
to you though.
and that's the good thing about this is, you know, I can be vague with this because it's simply put, you know, if you apply different religions or even agnosticism to my life and everything, it makes no sense at all. And then you apply heathenry to it, and it's like, oh, okay. So, plus, you know,
Like
magic.
layers of an onion.
Plus magic.
It's magic.
Plus magic.
Yeah.
All the magic.
So then.
Magic's my favorite.
Six, yeah.
All right, 6th.
And not Magic the Gathering. For those of you who don't know and
Still
care,
fun.
I
Still
don't
fun.
know how to play it.
We'll teach you.
No, we have to do D&D first.
That's fine.
Teach you that too.
6th.
I'm devastated right now.
The 6th, please.
What are your personal experiences you've had with the gods?
You want to go first? Because I was just share it again.
Yeah, and I think we discussed that like this one can go a bit. So if you're not into listening to our tangent, because we discussed before the video going ahead and just doing what got us in, and then if we wanted to relate any other experiences, we could.
We've had plenty.
Plenty.
You're good, man.
So after my grandfather died. Okay. They're getting ready to go eat.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, train of thought. It's re-railing. After my grandfather died, I was driving down the road. I had been in a fight with somebody I was dating at the time. I was trying to remember why, or how rather, I had talked them into not breaking up with me. And I was at the time a kind of person that could remember everything I'd said. And I just hear this voice in my head go, "Hello, I am Bragi." And I'm like, "Ah, hell, who are you?" And I was almost home, so I immediately started researching who Bragi was, and that's how I fully ended up in this religion. And then I started seeing him everywhere.
Okay.
It's not hell, Bragi. Completely different person.
Wait, what?
You said, "Oh hell, who's this person?" Not hell. Different person entirely.
The lovely
Yes.
shared experience again, because when we were getting into this, we spent pretty much every moment we could learning together because it just helps to have that kind of camaraderie. So we were at a park, and there was a very large and a very beautiful storm front rolling in. As the storm front was rolling in, we were sitting there. We just had this inkling almost, like just this call to us to call out to Thor. And we did.
To preface this, it goes back to, you know, we spent a lot of time in the woods looking
Yes.
at various religions, trying different things, speaking to a lot of things,
Mhm.
and, you know, there still wasn't a single thing that we had aimed at, or even a name for what we were doing yet. Enter in this park that we were at, and the storm rolling in. Go ahead and continue.
So, yes, then we're standing in front of this giant field. It had just been harvested, and this storm is just rolling in. There's not much lightning we can see. We can hear some thunder. And we both just kind of look at each other and just arms to the sky, just a full yell. "Thor, if you're there, let us know." And not milliseconds, like the instant that sentence had uttered the last breath off our lips, the entire sky, just that beautiful spiderweb lightning, north to south, east to west, everything just lit up. It was almost as bright as the light I'm looking into right now.
Except it was purple.
Yes.
I mean, we could switch it back.
Yeah, it lit up so bright, and we were like, no, No, that's a coincidence. Oh,
Right.
and then the thunder that followed like rattled our chest.
Oh.
It was amazing. Anyways, we were like, that's a coincidence, right? And it's like, okay, you just challenged a god, you got your answer, and you're gonna say it's a coincidence.
Right.
We did, and we were like, you can't do it twice, can you? That's not what we said. That's basically what we said because we were idiots when we first started. We like to challenge the gods openly several times.
Yeah.
We've learned from that, and as soon as we said it again, we're like, you can't do that twice, and then.
Yep.
You know, and for it to do it twice, immediately after we ask or challenge or however you want to word that, we were just like, all right, let's look more into the Norse gods because they spoke back.
And then that's when we started to find so many other things, and we've pretty much all since then had our own very personal interactions with different gods.
Yes.
Some of us full body takeovers, some of us dreams, visions. A lot of us have seen a lot of amazing things. So then,
yeah,
sounds good. I guess we'll move on.
So proud of us for not going into a huge.
We're
giant
doing
tangent
good.
on
We're
this.
trying really hard.
Oh, don't try so hard. I enjoy your tangents.
How long have you been in this religion?
I am terrible with numbers.
Since that event, right?
5 years. 5 years. 5 years. I have been with these guys for 4 years.
In massage school.
3, 2, 1.
So,
Yeah.
see, that would have to be almost 7 years now.
Yeah.
Nice.
Almost 7 years now since that event occurred. But playing with the animism and various nature things for at least 1.5 years, 2 years before that. But this religion specifically, that event about 7 years ago.
Yeah. And it's one of those things where no reason to ever look back. It's just been full steam ahead. We've loved it.
Basically. Now, that being said, so it was that event, and it wasn't even 6 months later that Chris found Zach. We got together on for the Feast of Balder. That's when we created the... I'm getting ahead of myself. That's another
You
question.
are getting ahead of yourself.
Sorry, it flowed.
I am question master.
It flowed. All right, Mike, we answered the question. What's the next question?
Yes.
What brought Midgards Well together?
See that? It just flowed so perfectly.
Segue!
I'm just going to continue where I left off. All right, so it was just a few months later as Chris found Zach. Shut up. And,
I wasn't the one giggling. Don't yell at me.
oh, giggle fit. We told you.
Damn it, Batman.
Found Zach. It was for the Feast of Balder. It was Zach, Chris, me, and Zach's wife. It was just a small thing in the pavilion out in DeSoto, yeah. And that's just kind of, at the time, it was called the Order of the Wolf, and we were like, this is our conception, boom, Order of the Wolf, that's what we are. Let's, hail Balder. Was basically how it went. It was just a cool time getting to know each other at that point. And then, since then, Zach has gotten really entrepreneurial. He started a couple of online businesses, done a lot of stuff, so he's not as active anymore. He is still religiously active, just not with us. He's very busy with
Another shameless plug, Dirt Roadmen.
Dirt Roadmen, catch it. It's awesome.
It is.
It's a YouTube channel, Zach's YouTube channel.
You'll see a lot of Zach there.
Yeah, that's all Zach. Anyway, so that's when it formed, and at the time it was called the Order of the Wolf. As we started to get more into the community, it's actually still, was it still Order of the Wolf when you joined?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was a part of the Midgards Well naming thing.
Yeah.
Got it. All right. I thought so.
Yeah.
So we, with the Order of the Wolf, and it was becoming part of the community, that we found out like some of the negative connotations with the word order, because you find that with a lot of like
supremacists.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you get
And
supremacists.
it gives you that hierarchical kind of feel.
Yeah. We're not tribal. We're not hierarchical. We're very more kindred-like, more family-like.
The true sense of kin.
Yes.
Yeah. We've got this very familial ties of levels. Who's your chieftain? We don't have one there, right? Sort of a thing.
But if you want to go talk to Mom, here's Allie's number.
Basically, because Chris and I are not doing it.
Pretty much, yeah.
And then, so we found some issues with the wolf as well. And we were like, hey, we need a new name. So
it's also a very popular satanic group on Facebook, which has a lot more followers than we did at the time. So we figured, meh. Yeah. And we it took maybe a week or two to really think of the new name.
And I mean, I feel like that was all you guys. It was just like, hey, Allie, what do you think of this? And I was like, I love it.
That sounds about right.
Because I'm extremely good at talking. there's one charm I think Odin's already taught me. It's my ability to talk and have other people like my dreams and ideas.
You know, people just follow passion. Chris is very passionate about everything he says. Doesn't
I
matter
love
if it's
it.
right or wrong.
That's so true.
But, you know, Allie was like, yeah, this is cool because she wasn't yet comfortable with us. Now she'll tell us, hey, you're wrong and an idiot. And
Yeah.
it's awesome.
But
It
that's-
only took me 3 years to get there.
Right, but that's how we finally got to Midgards Well, Midgard if you want to say it in Old Norse.
Mhm.
Yeah, which comes from, obviously, you know, if you need the breakdown, the Well of Mimir, and we're on Midgard, you know,
Yes.
we seek for knowledge and reconstruction.
So that's the thing we wanted. We wanted to be the well of knowledge on Midgard.
Yep.
Since you don't have to sacrifice an eye, you don't have to hang yourself from a tree for 9 days with a spear in your side.
You don't have to.
You simply have to, as we call it, drink from the well.
Mhm.
We're here to fill your cup until it is overflowing, and then get you a bigger cup.
Now, something I would like to expand on, especially for people who are looking to build their community or increase their kindred size, is kind of how we did it as part of how we built Midgards Well. So keeping that 9-question realm, Chris, just making a subsection of that 9. So basically, Chris and I have been the most consistently active. Everybody else's jobs have, at one point or another, made them take a step back.
Which it happens.
It does. This isn't a
It's
dig
a part
in any
of
way.
family.
This is a. So we've kind of developed a method. Chris will randomly approach people. Does not work well for me. Otherwise, if it does work well for me, then we should have somebody joining within the next couple months.
We're very good at finding people that just fit. Because
Yes.
we have very loud personalities when we actually talk to people.
Yes.
And you can get a sense of us very quickly. Roman's a bit more... He can put on facades very easily. He can fit into any crowd.
So what we would, what really has helped us is Ren Fair
Yeah.
and Pagan Pride Day.
If you're wearing a hammer and I don't know you, I'm gonna talk to you.
And if you're wearing a hammer and I don't know you, I might say something. Actually, I followed a guy around at work one day just to be like, dude, I love your hammer. I spent all day trying to find him because we worked in a warehouse at the time.
Or should you
And-
be like, Chris, get him.
Well, if you're
He's
there.
really shy.
That guy has not joined, but we may actually, because we just ran into him, so we may have a shot here.
And it's those little kind of things right there that let us know. You know, those are, to me, those are an interaction with the gods.
Right?
When you meet someone from a long time ago, you talked, and all of a sudden, oh, boom, hey, we got this kindred. Oh, look at that.
Right? And like, so he might be coming to some of our events. And then Pagan Pride Day is something we put a lot of effort into. But can we not even lie about the pointing to myself here? I'm very proud of what I do for Pagan Pride Day. They help.
Thanks.
They help.
Woke up at 6:30. A lot of help.
You didn't give me your article.
I got you a sandwich.
So,
Yeah, you made me a sandwich instead of helping with the pamphlets.
Food helps.
Food helps.
It does. And it was an interesting sandwich.
I mean, you can even, a good place to spread community is local comic book stores.
Yep.
And like comic conventions and stuff, because it
Tabletop
just
stores.
strangely so happens that a lot of heathens are huge nerds.
Nerds.
And it's cool.
It is cool. Makes it easier to connect.
If you go on Facebook, most cities have some kind of meetup page that you can find.
If you have to start with a pagan page,
Yeah.
do that, because then you can either make or you can find the heathen pages through them.
Exactly. And just attending at least one event will give you a good idea of what your community is like and if there is a possibility to build within it with who's already there.
Yeah, for an example, like in Kansas City, there you can search Kansas City Pagan, and there is a Kansas City Pagan group that gets together. It is literally a group of any sort of pagan. There's Wiccans, there's Druids, there's Norse pagans, there's, you know, if they're...
Celtic, Hindu, literally anything.
Yeah, there's a lot that get together, and so it's just a great way to build community, both interreligiously and finding other people that believe in what you believe in.
A lot of cities also do have Pagan Pride Days.
Yes.
So that is definitely something to look into. With Kansas City, it's usually in September. It's September 8th this year.
Come see us
2019.
We will have, hopefully, a massive booth this year.
with lots of cool stuff.
And it won't just be me or Chris or me and Mike. It will be hopefully a lot more of us this time around.
We'll see.
I already have it requested off.
Heck yeah! So it'll be me, Chris, and Mike at the very least, and potentially Batman.
Thank you.
Without the Bat Mask, because
You
the
want
Bat
to meet
Mask will
Batman?
be going
Go to
back.
Pagan Pride Day.
Yes, Bat Mask is going back on my collection desk.
Adam West is coming Pagan Pride Day.
Yeah.
Right.
But a good
That's
booth,
still okay.
a good booth at Pagan Pride Day will have a lot of resources for you not
Yes.
to only connect with them, but with your community, and will give you information, not just shameless plugs to join them. Because ultimately, especially with our kindred, we want to make sure you fit and that you're going to enhance our family and not drag us down. Or
We're building a strong
be kicked
shield
out.
wall, not a huge one.
We want quality over quantity.
Yes.
And that comes down to literally just personalities. And if you fit with us, you fit with us. If you don't, you don't. But we know other kindreds we can send you to.
And there's no shame in that.
Mm-mm. Because
You're
your
still-
family should be your family.
Yes, and you are still a part of a brotherhood and sisterhood. You are part of a religious group, and then there are just the kindreds inside of that.
Yeah.
So we can all still work together.
Absolutely. Well, that was all the questions. Do you guys have any?
Technically, it wasn't.
Oh, snap.
Yeah.
Oh, snap.
Question master over here.
I thought that was
Can't
going to be the
control
end.
everything, Allie.
I thought that was going to be the last question. Y'all can shut
Good
your
job,
faces.
question master.
Y'all shut your faces. Mike, I will throw this skull at you.
And then she called her a bitch.
Questions? Whack. What is the video?
Yeah,
Whack.
you better love it.
Which doesn't even answer all the questions. Whack!
Wait, she doesn't like all my stuff before she shares it?
Whack! I'm trying as fuck.
I'm feeling so attacked right now. In my defense, she said that was going to be the last question,
That is what
not
she
that she had changed it on me.
Well, I got distracted.
All right, Batman. What's the next question?
Give us the next
Okay.
question, Batman.
The final question.
Uh-huh.
Where's the bomb?
$1 million.
Where's the beat?
Where's Rachel?
Whew. What was it like to create the kindred?
I mean, I feel like we're gonna...
So what we
Well, yeah, because you didn't pay attention
You have
to the
now.
question in order.
So, and a bit of a difference then. This kindred, in a beautiful way, has been the easiest thing I've ever worked on, due to the fact that it's creating itself constantly.
Right.
With
Evolution.
yes, with all the people we have on our Facebook page, same Midgards Well, with the videos we're putting out, with the calendars we're going to start putting out, with books where we have plans on writing and stuff.
Or creating visually.
Exactly.
The public bloats.
Yes, public bloats for people to just come and watch. We have really created a system in which this kindred can infect is the correct word. I don't know why I was trying to infect the community and spread. It's been
We are a disease.
every single time I've seen a roadblock with this kindred, one of the other members has helped really focus and destroy that roadblock. And that's something that's, I think, our strong suit is because we do not have a chieftain who everyone looks at to do all the things. We have the ability for this kindred to create it's its own tree sprouting right now. And it gets to create its own branches and find its own path and grab its own things.
And see, something that that you kind of glossed over but said, I'm just expanding on, is people come and see us and see what we do. They see our Facebook page and the things we do there. They see our Instagram and what we do there. They see all these little facets, and then they come see us in person.
Links.
And with that, they see who we are, and that just pulls them in even further. And that's how we end up with a lot of our members. 4 of our members, they kind of knew us. I had met them all at Pagan Pride Day, and I'd known them from around the community. But coming and watching us, being a part of our Kindred Nights, being a part of our bloats and things like that, they were able to see how we function, and that really drew them in because we are unabashedly ourselves all the time. When it's
No.
Kindred night. When it's Kindred night, and
we
we're doing
can't
Kindred
even
stuff.
do a podcast seriously, you know. It's just a goofy family.
Even when it gets to the point where we have like a legitimate podcast set and it's all huge and fabulous, don't ever expect this to change.
It won't. It really won't.
Marvelous.
I'm perfect.
Flawless. Even with my control issues. Thank you.
Even if we gave him the script, it would be trash.
Which is why when we originally started the podcast a year ago, and we're only now posting the videos, I don't even feel bad about that.
It was a year ago today.
Well, I don't know if it's a year ago today.
It was a year ago today you uploaded to the things to the
Oh,
Facebook
snap.
page. Yeah, I got the notification
Oh,
today.
snap. Okay, a year ago today, and today is February the 6th,
Finally getting my
2019.
video.
2019.
That was so January.
Yeah, I did too. Anywho's it's, what was I saying?
A tangent.
Unabashedly ourselves.
Yeah.
Oh, when we started originally doing this, we decided that there was no point in having a script because, well, we weren't going to follow it, and we wanted this to be as natural and uninfluenced by structure as possible.
We're the kids that don't color in lines.
We really,
Hence
we're the kids
answering
that
questions
take
before
a
it's
line.
done.
You know, for just having done a video about rocketry, y'all really love chaos.
You know what? I'm about to slap the peanut gallery.
We make the videos.
We are the
better.
kids that take a coloring book and redraw the lines because we color over and make a different picture.
And
Aw.
if there wasn't like issues with copywriting, I really want after this video to be We're the Kids of America to start playing.
yeah.
Yeah, don't sing
Whoa,
it.
we'll get,
Yeah.
we'll
Easy
take
now,
it down.
easy.
Simmer.
CMCR.
So, those are pretty much the basic questions, the FAQs, and such like that. If you can think of your own, put it in the comment section below. You will get 3 answers, or one very long one that we've just spoken with and give you a congealed version of.
But only if you ask it in a
You'll at
form
least
of
get
answer.
2, because I'll always answer something on myself anyway.
It's true.
Or get ignored entirely. 'Cause that happens.
Yeah, right.
So like, subscribe, share, because we're gonna be those people right now.
There's
Hey, it's a young channel.
It is.
It's how we get big.
Need it. We need it.
We want to share.
Comment seriously if you have questions. 'Cause
Yes,
we want to share
exactly.
everything.
We want this. We're not trying to make money off of this. It's
No.
any money we make is going right back into the Kindred.
It is.
This is literally just because we want that information out there, and we want people to know you're not alone. You're not wrong, and you're not doing anything wrong.
And the whole reason we're doing interviews is so that y'all can really get to know the Kindred and realize where we're coming from. With all of this is genuine. We're not going out of our way to like shove stuff down
Yes.
people's throats. It's more of a, this is why we have our mindset, and here's what our mindset is. So if you ever have issues with a video we post, you can watch the interviews and be like, oh.
And that's just one of the beautiful things about this Kindred. Like I said, it self-grows. It just has the ability to take its own walk, and we just let it.
Like the tangent they keep going on.
Yeah.
So as always,
Tangent buddies.
Thank you for drinking from the well.